Good night, everyone. It seems that I'm the first one in the dock since there are judges and juries around, but I'll try my best not to get into too much trouble. Thank you all for coming out this evening, and I hope that there will be useful follow-up action and not just a talk shop as President Brown was suggesting. Let me start by thanking BAPE for organizing this meeting, and I'd also like to take the opportunity to publicly thank our President, Engineer Trevor Brown, for so readily accepting the mantle of leadership of this association at our last AGM towards the end of October. BOA's loss is our gain. So, our pothole problem, the way forward. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you were to get a call from your mother saying that she was suffering from bed sores and had been in the hospital for the last 6 weeks, I would say to you that your mom's bed sores may be painful and rather inconvenient and would certainly need attention very soon. But I would also strongly advise you to get on a plane and hurry home to go and meet with her specialist. Find out from them why she has been in the hospital for the last 6 weeks and work with them to devise a strategy to get your mother, you only get one of them, back into robust and sustainable good health and fitness. My view of the pothole problem is similar. The inconvenient and many potholes now present in our roads are symptomatic of larger issues of our transportation network. As with mothers, we Barbadians only have one island. We have to take care of her and make the very best of her. I therefore put it to you that the state of affairs of our roads presents a golden opportunity for us to take a comprehensive look at our whole transportation system and to determine how we wish to fashion it for the future. It goes beyond just the fixing the mere potholes. So let us start by looking at the layout of the island's road network. After all, we have to start where we are. The map on the slide is from 1736 and was done by a gentleman called Herman Mull. And to quote what he says about the map, it contains all the roads or paths, towns, churches, fortifications, and plantations on the island, with many remarks. End of quote. Of course, I can also recommend you a version of the island's map prepared a few years earlier, in 1917 to 1921 by William Mayo, which was enhanced and digitized by local engineers Robert Foster and John Knox, a copy of which proudly hangs on my wall. You'll find that our basic road layout has persevered in centuries, though that not much has changed. But that road network evolved organically, initially to serve the needs of the first settlers and our then expanding agricultural sector, tobacco, sugarcane, food crops, all roads generally leading to and from Bridgetown, in order to get the cash crops to the wharf for export and to receive merchandise for commercial distribution about the island, along with connections between plantations and between the mining towns outside Bridgetown. Over the years, we paved and widened everything nicely. And more recently, the last time we mentioned added was such a language. But I think you remember that adding those routes.
Background music.
Okay.
I thought this was a fact.
Is that better? Good? Yes. All right, so where should I go back to? Well, okay. This map on the slide was done by Herman Mull to show the roads and paths, towns and churches and fortifications on the island and plantations And I spoke about a version that was enhanced and digitized by a couple engineer friends of mine, John Knox and Robbie Foster, which I'm sure you can get a copy of that from them. I have a frame copy on a wall. And I also said our road network evolved organically. So what you see there occurred because the cash crops of tobacco and later sugarcane had to be got into the war for export, and the goods that were brought in had to be distributed around the island. And then there were interconnections between the plantations into the smaller ports at Spikestown and Poletown, and later Oystons. And we have generally just kept that network. We widened the roads that we traffic on more. We paved everything. And eventually we decided that we needed to add some routes so that everything would not have to go through Bridgetown. I think you remember that years ago, if you wanted to go to the airport from St. James, you actually had to go through Bridgetown and then go Highway 7. But when we came to add the routes to circumvent Bridgetown, it did occasion quite a lot of controversy at the time. So change can be difficult. Now, if you look at the next two slides, time doesn't permit me to read it, but in this regard, I want to recommend to you a poem called The Calf Path by the American poet Sam Foss. And I'll put a few copies in the audience which you can share. And I find that that's a humorous outlook on how we managed to stick slavishly to things that were created for other purposes centuries before. And our road network may have shades of that. Perhaps it is time for some changes to that road network. Indeed, you may see our road network as only part of a larger transportation infrastructure, which could now or in the future include local travel by road, or light rail, or water, or even air. Before we make any choices, we need to have a hard look at the purpose of our transportation infrastructure, of which the roads form but one part. We use our means of transport to move goods and people, to support the economy, for leisure, law enforcement, and so on. And although our road network has served us for a few hundred years, we have to think, what are our plans for the next 50 years? How do we propose to earn our keep in the world? What will our currency be? What will our population be? 300,000, 600,000, a million? Will we diversify the economy? Will we rearrange our human settlements? Move everyone out of the Scotland District National Park, for example? Will our importance within CARICOM and the region increase? Will we go back to having a federation? Will we be an important hub in that, providing services and facilities? What will be our energy mix in the future? And so on and so on and so on. There are many questions that impact on what our future will be. It's a future that we need to consciously fashion. We need to create a future and create mechanisms where we can be responsive to change. We need to become a learning country, just as you have learning organizations. And when we fashion that future, then that will help us to determine what transportation infrastructure we need and what road network we need within that. So our economists, planners, and civic leaders need to do the studies, get the feedback, and determine how we will fashion this island nation over the next 50 years. Once that is done, our transportation planners at the Ministry of Transport and Works, like Mr. Philip Tudor here and his colleagues, will be in a position to sit down and decide how to reshape the network and phase in the modifications to be made in order to support our future society and economy. How do we best integrate the road network within the overall transportation system? Where do we have to add more roads? Where do we remove roads? Which ones do we improve? All to ensure the fast, safe, and efficient movement of people and goods. And those really are the key points I want to get across tonight. I may have presented more questions than answers so far, but we can't arrive at the best solutions if we don't consider the right questions first. Now, I know we're really here to talk about potholes, and I have a few more slides, if you can flick through them quickly, that deal with road design and construction and drainage and defects in asphalt and their repair, comparisons between the more durable concrete roads and the more economical asphalt roads, how we can recycle our wearing courses by milling up the top course and reusing it, or making use of shredded tires in the asphalt mix and so on. But that's all detail, and I'm sure if the Ministry of Transport and Works were provided with enough funds, they could have our road network in pristine condition. But I think the larger issue for me is, what do we plan for ourselves for the next 50 years, and what transportation infrastructure are we going to use to support that, and where does our network, road network, fit into that, and how are we going to fashion it to suit? Thanks very much.